So today we have the day Kawhi Leonard destroyed LeBron James and D Wade. We got another reaction, man. We got another reaction. This is something I don't do often. Like sometimes I used to do reaction videos just when I didn't feel like doing content, but now we finna start doing 2 a days. You know what I'm saying? We finna start doing 2 a days, and we gonna do this for a couple of weeks and see how you guys react to it. You know what I'm saying? Just doing maybe a shorter YouTube type of video, and then saving my longer takes and analysis videos for like the later part of the afternoon or sometimes night, depending on what's happening in the basketball world that day. Today we didn't get a lot of really good games. I know Philly just beat the Cavs, so I'm gonna watch that, and then that's really all we have for today. So let's spice up some content and see what whose channel is this. Fast break, only 4,000 subscribers and got 66,000 views. So yeah, let's see what Fast Break has to say about this. Let's get started, man. Let's go.
LeBron matchup so difficult for King James.
Kawhi Leonard checks in the game as LeBron James is shooting a free throw.
That face?
He was not happy about that, Woj.
LeBron James says that Kawhi is the best defender. He's best at defending LeBron.
Shot the ball extremely well. I just, every year you gain more and more confidence. Guys, give you confidence, and he played extremely well.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie. That 2014 swag, that shit was not it. That shit was not it, bro. And LeBron used to fall for anything, bro. Anything. Bron used to, bro, we wearing glasses and suspenders with some cargo shorts. I'm with it, fo. I'm with it. No, bro. That shit is not it.
Up in this league, everyone, knows he's what Coach Park said. He's the future of this team, and he did an unbelievable job of playing the role they needed him to play.
You are the 2014 Bill Russell MVP.
The day a 22-year-old Kawhi Leonard destroyed prime LeBron James and Dwayne Wade was the day that Kawhi officially transcended his role from athletic, do-it-all defensive role player to an all-time great, unstoppable two-way monster. And it was way back in the 2014 NBA Finals. And people will say, oh, LeBron still got his numbers, average 28. Well, you just wait and see. Because if you see prime LeBron's numbers while being guarded by a 22-year-old Kawhi, well, his Finals MVP will never be questioned again.
First off, fire intro. That's one thing I'm always going to do for YouTubers. I'm going to give them credit on things that, as a YouTuber, I find difficult. You know what I'm saying? It is not the easiest to get a good intro, especially if you make it yourself. I've spent the past, see, we doing this again. If you guys watch my YouTube videos regularly, you guys know that I stay up, and when I'm up late, I show you guys the time. It is 4 a.m, chat. It is 4 a.m, and I don't want to go to sleep. If I go to sleep, I'm not going to wake up till 11, 12 o'clock. Then half my day is already gone. So it looks like we just going to have to thug this one out. I ain't going to work. I don't have to work tomorrow. So, hey, we lit. Anyway, small things like that, bro, especially when I just spent the past 2.5 hours trying to make an intro myself and I hated it. Big ups to you, man. Big ups to you. But the one thing I was going to say, I don't think people ever really question Kawhi Leonard's Finals MVP. We question Andre Iguodala's. That's what we question. We question Andre Iguodala's. We don't question Kawhi's.
2013 NBA champion, the back-to-back Miami Heat champions.
Back-to-back NBA champions. The back-to-back Miami Heat champions.
Arguably one of the greatest teams of all time. Spearheaded by two of the greatest players of all time, Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. Dwayne Wade, coming off of his 9th straight All-Star appearance, one of the best and most clutch players in the league, a Finals MVP himself back in 2006, and the bona fide third-best shooting guard in the history of the sport.
To me, you're the
I don't know about bona fide
superstar that's ever played in this game.
I don't know about bona fide. Don't know about bona fide. Fear the beard.
20
Fear
points
the
in
fucking
the 2013
beard.
Finals. He was the Robin, one of the
Fear the
greatest
beard.
Robins in the history of the league. Because the Batman of the team was, of course, LeBron James. 2013 LeBron James specifically. 4-time MVP, 2 times Finals MVP at the time. The best player in the league at the time. And it wasn't even close. Arguably the greatest version of any player in the league ever. These two superstars united in 2010. And despite a rough start in 2011, they were as dominant as promised, peaking in 2013.
Yeah, because didn't they start out that run like their first year? Didn't they start out their first 17 games? Weren't they like 9-8? Like it didn't start off too great. You know what I'm saying?
They looked unstoppable, at least until the finals came, where they had to face this team, the San Antonio Spurs, with Tim Duncan on his last legs and TP and Manu at the tail end of their primes. They were still going hella strong. Second seed in the West. They were playing peak Spurs team basketball. Gave the Miami Heat a hell of a final series, after just losing 2 games in the playoffs prior to the finals. In fact, they were seconds away from clinching the series in Game 6. Until, of course...
James catches, puts up a 3, won't go!
I hope this doesn't get copywritten. I hope this doesn't get copywritten because of this.
Miami, of course, went on to win Game 7.
How do y'all do it? How do y'all post... Hold on.
But it seemed...
How do y'all be posting like clips like that without getting copywritten? Is it just me? Is it me? Is that what it is? Like I hate to play the race card, but if I get that desperate, that's what I'm gonna do.
Like the Spurs had the tools to beat them. Unselfish basketball with
Tim
great
Duncan
defense.
was
But it seemed like the Spurs had the tools to beat them.
Bro,
unselfish basketball with great defense and hustle against the Heat's heliocentric superstar basketball. They had to have the right personnel in the right roles, and they
Look at
certainly
Patty,
did.
boy.
Tony Parker as the pass first point, Danny Green, Marco Bellinelli, and Patty Mills as
Marco
the floor
Bellinelli,
spacing
boy.
three-point specialists.
His ass had a burner.
As the
His ass
whirlwind
had a
off the
burner.
bench. Boris Diaw, Thiago Splitter, Matt Bonner, and Aaron Baines as the hardworking bigs who set picks, got lobs, and crashed the boards. An ancient Tim Duncan is the leader of the team and the starting power forward or center of the team.
You
But
know what's
there was an
you
X
know
factor
what's
in this
you
team.
know what's so
A
funny,
young
chat? You know what's so funny? And I'm gonna talk about this a little bit more later in the week when I drop the video on this. But Tim Duncan was still anchoring top tier defenses at 35. Or however old he was when he was in this finals. He was still anchoring some of the best defenses in the league. People don't talk about that, man. This is why I have Tim Duncan as the 3rd greatest defender of all time. I have him over KG. I have him over Ben Wallace. It's because of that reason. It's because he anchored a top 3 defense 14 times out of his 19-year career. And I don't think the Spurs ever fell out of the top 10 in defense while Tim Duncan was wearing their uniform. It's just like you will be lucky to get 7 really good defensive seasons out of a big man. You will be lucky. You know, once they start getting into that mid-30s to late 30s stage, they're not nearly as quick on their feet as they used to. Their vertical leap is clearly not there. Their athleticism just isn't there. And maybe their rebounding is tanked just a little bit to the point where they're not as good as a defender as they once were. Tim Duncan was one of the best defenders in the league until he walked out of San Antonio, until he left the NBA. Like, you're not going to get that anywhere else.
Rear wing was extremely promising. He had a strong, muscular frame at 6'7", with hands as big as
I mean,
Michael
shit, he
Jordan's.
did have Kawhi,
He
but
was the
still,
do-it-all two-way utility player of this team. I'm, of course, talking about this man, Kawhi Leonard. He had already been to the playoffs twice back then and was already tasked to guard the best player in the world, LeBron James, as a sophomore. And he did well, really well. So well, in fact, that it produced this moment in the 2013 finals.
And Kawhi Leonard checks in the game as LeBron James is shooting a free throw.
Yo, Bron, you can't be
And
showing that type of
tells
emotion on the
whole
court,
story,
man.
Really. Despite
You
James
see,
still
he
getting
better than
double-
me. Bron is better than me. Because if I would have saw Kawhi coming in the crowd, this bitch ass nigga, man, we ain't worried about him. We not worried about him, bro. We not worried about him. We not worried about him at all.
Getting the finals MVP, Kawhi Leonard made life a living hell for the King. And through his early work, coach Greg Popovich saw the piece that, if given more opportunities and developed well, could be the key to ending this Miami Heat dynasty. Coach Pop saw in his hands the very first LeBron stopper, the Claw, Kawhi Leonard. But now it's time for the 2014 NBA Finals.
Very first.
There was only
respect JJ Barea. Respect JJ Barea.
one way it was going to go. LeBron and Dwayne Wade dominated the Eastern Conference playoffs to make it back to what would be their last NBA Finals together. They were great throughout the regular season, having a 43-14 record in March of 2014. But they did end the season with a rather underwhelming 54-28 record. The Spurs, meanwhile, looked even better than they did last year. 62 wins, best in the league. The epitome of Spurs basketball was seen this season. The team was peaking at the right time too, having a 19-game winning streak and an unbeaten month before the playoffs. So the stage was set, the Heat versus the Spurs, a rematch of last year's war. Both teams mostly unchanged, with the Heat super team still being favorites. What's to say that the result won't just be the same, with the Heat just completing the three-peat, and the Spurs will go 0 for 2 against Miami. I'll tell you what, the development of one Kawhi Leonard.
All right, y'all. I was hitting my co-host back, talking business.
It's away from Smith. Leads Kawhi. Oh, 3-on-2 for the Thunder. Westbrook. Oh, he slipped by Leonard. What a play by Kawhi Leonard. Look at the speed of Leonard.
Hey, man, I'm not gonna lie. I think Kawhi was like, I wouldn't say he was before his time, but when teams look at these wings who are uber athletic, can play defense really well, extremely strong, built, has these long wingspans, they really try and develop that offensive side of their game so they can become something like Kawhi Leonard. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be as good as Kawhi Leonard, but if you can give me some of the best wing defense in the league while being an efficient shooter and just giving me 15, 16 points per game, that's a hit. That's a hit, especially in today's game. Like, if I'm a GM, I'm having at least 7 guys on my team who are 6'7" to 6'9" and could be versatile as hell. That's the meta. That's the meta, bro. And I think Kawhi really revamped that. He really revamped that, man.
Slam dunk. Kawhi Leonard on Serge Ibaka.
Kawhi got even better in this third season from an already pretty great second season. 12.8 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and most importantly, his first selection to an
what's the name of your
team.
channel again, bro?
But the best was yet to come, because we've known Kawhi to be
okay,
a
fast
playoff
break.
riser,
All right, bet.
and he's been that way ever since his early days.
Fast break though. One thing. We are halfway through the video and we haven't talked about how Kawhi really stopped
He had
LeBron.
the chance to show what he can do in the NBA.
So
Finals
let's see where you go with
against
this.
2 of the
Let's see where you
greatest
go.
players in the history of the league. One of
I
them
think he's
being
getting to it. I
arguably
think he's getting to it. It's a
greatest
build
of
up.
all
It's a
time.
build up.
It
I respect
wasn't
it.
going to be easy for the
I
then
respect it.
22-year-old Kawhi, but he didn't look at it like that. He saw it as a name to write his name into the history books, alongside D Wade and LeBron James. So, without
Pull up
much
3,
talking,
man.
of course, Kawhi Leonard went to work and completely destroyed LeBron and D Wade. Offensively, he was everything the Spurs wanted, but defensively, he was what the Spurs absolutely needed.
They've won by 15 points.
Here we go. Here we go.
That's
Here we go. Okay, I
travel
may have to
now,
mute
no
this just
reason
for a
to
second,
give
just
the
so I don't get copyrighted. I can't go for that. I cannot go for that.
Load for the Heat. They were suddenly looking incredibly old and fatigued. The Kings still put up numbers, 28 points, 7.8 rebounds, 4 assists, but D-Wade, well, D-Wade dropped off this series, averaging just 15 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 2.6 assists on 43% from the field. This was a far cry from his all-star season of 19 PPG on 54% from the field. The Flash probably wasn't shooting it nearly as much as he should. Only 9 attempts in Game 2. Then just going 3 of 13 in Game 4. And 4 of 12 in Game 5. Bad shooting combined with low volume. It just wasn't a good series for him. As for their counterpart in Kawhi, well, 18 points, 6 points higher than his regular season numbers, 6.2 rebounds, and 2 assists on a pretty sensational 61% from the field and 58% from 3. More importantly, though, he was all over LeBron. Kawhi just destroyed LeBron.
Nobody was
D-Wade,
questioning.
and the rest of
Nobody
the Miami
questions
Heat
this
on
Finals
defense.
MVP. Nobody questions
Bottom
it.
line is it sparked the
Once
team.
again, I really hope I don't get copyright strikes for this. I really hope I don't.
If people question why
I hope
Kawhi
you didn't
was
get
praised for his
copyright
defense on
strikes for
LeBron,
this.
despite the King putting up
I
28
forgot your
points,
YouTube channel
well,
name again.
LeBron only shot 17% out of all his ball touches while being guarded by Kawhi. meaning that Kawhi forced him into either passing the ball or turning it over. For reference, he shot it 34% of the time when being guarded by others. At the same time, the Claw denied James the ball 35% of the time, when LeBron was denied just 25% of the time with other defenders. Another really significant number is that Kawhi kept LeBron, 2014 LeBron, from driving to the paint. Bron only drove 13% of the time when guarded by Kawhi, despite driving to the rim 22% of the time when being guarded by others. That number is particularly important when you remember how 2014 LeBron James played. All of those other factors combined just shows you how effective Kawhi
this is
was
peak Bron
defensively
too.
against LeBron
Like,
and
this
the
is
Heat.
peak Bron.
This series wasn't much of a fight, a far cry from the previous series. The Spurs had a chance to end it all in Game 5. So despite LeBron putting the Heat up 16 in the first quarter, Kawhi decided that there was no finals comeback this time around.
Wade goes to Duncan. Duncan offers a shot.
See, Tim Duncan, man.
Tim Duncan.
Come on
But
now.
I will say that
Him and
left hand is
Kawhi.
on the lower body, but great job of contesting with the right
Oh
hand.
no, that was actually Kawhi.
Leonard, his 9th board of the game. Leonard pushes out to Ginobili.
Ginobili.
Puts it in.
22 points, 10 rebounds, and amazing defense on the two best players in the world at the time to close out the series. A series that was close on paper.
What did I just hear?
10 rebounds and amazing defense on the two best players in the world at the time.
I
to close
definitely
out the
wouldn't
series.
say Wade and
that
LeBron
was
were the two
close
best
on
players
paper.
in the world.
Turned
I
out
mean,
to have the
Kevin
largest
Durant
win-loss
was having a
margin in
pulse.
NBA history.
Kevin Durant
Kawhi
had a
Leonard,
pulse.
at just
He was
22
walking
years
around
old,
in
the
Oklahoma
15th
City
pick of the
Thunder
NBA
in
draft just
Oklahoma
3
City
years
that
prior,
year.
turned out to
I
be
wouldn't
the
say they were the two
catalyst
best
to
players in the
save
world,
NBA
but
from who were the most villainous and hated team back then. He was just a developing young role player back then. But this was a true turning point in Kawhi's career that turned him from just a starter to one of the best and most clutch two-way players in NBA history. But hey, when you help limit and even outplay Prime King and Flash, well, that happens. And the day that Kawhi Leonard destroyed Prime LeBron James and Dwayne Wade was capped off correctly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to... Okay, this is actually the next reaction video, so we're going to talk about that later. Shout out to the guy that posted this video because, once again, I keep forgetting his YouTube channel. It will be in the link in the description. If you guys like this type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.